Hey everyone, so I'm back with my second like Christmas makeup tutorial for this coming season, and it was more of a requested one because after the last one, which was the purple kind of glittery one, which I will link to below, I got a few requests for a slightly more wearable party makeup. So this is kind of what my version of a wearable party makeup would be. So it's still, you know, got quite a strong emphasis on eyes and stuff. With the strong liner and you know, false lashes. I got these in Boots by number collection 2000. I think they were quite inexpensive. And then a bit of colour on the cheeks and lips. It's kind of a corally orange kind of colour, but basically I wanted to go for something that kind of reminded me of nutmeg, cinnamon, you know, those kind of colours that would often be, you know, synonymous with Christmas. So I used like tan pigment and brown eyeshadow by MAC on my eyes, so it's like a beautiful kind of Christmassy metallic-y kind of pigment, and I just think it looks really nice and it's so wearable. It'd be like a slightly more glitzy version of the eyeshadow All That Glitters, which would be a really good dupe if you can't get that. And look who finally got herself a curling tongs as well. I decided to pick one up. I didn't own any. Now that I have a wee bit of length in my hair, I just wanted to experiment with it. So I curled this about 2-3 hours ago and they've kind of fallen out already because I didn't use any hairspray or anything, but just to give it a little bit more life and body. I think it's nice for a change, and I'm wearing like the most unparty type clothes today. I got this jumper in Penneys recently and it's just really warm and cozy and wintry, but I love it. And then for my nail varnish, I picked up a Barry M Instant Nails Effect nail polish in 319 foil effects. So I really love that. It's just a beautiful silver nail polish, so it kind of looks like those nail transfers that are around everywhere at the moment, but this is actual polish. I really love it. I want to pick up the gold one as well because I think the gold probably would have went a little bit better with this look. But yeah, this is it. So my slightly more wearable look. Watch on to see how I did it, and I'll chat to you all really soon, guys. So before starting on the eyeshadow, I applied a little bit of Select Cover Up by MAC to the under eye area as concealer, and then I used a Clinique eye base in Canvas Light all over my eyelids, just using my fingers. For the main eye colour, I'm using Tan Pigment by MAC, which is a really beautiful, almost like golden nutmeg beige colour. And I applied this using a small eyeshadow brush. I think this one was by LetzMakeup. I got it on Boots ages ago. And just packed that all over the inner 2/3 of my eyelids. For my brow and inner corner highlight, I used another pigment. This one is Vanilla, also by MAC, and it's a golden based white shimmery pigment that just catches the light so beautifully, and I absolutely love using it on clients as well as on myself. As my crease colour, I used Brun by MAC. It looks a little bit glittery out here, I think, because of the palette that it was in, but it's a very matte brown colour. And I chose this as well because it's a very neutral brown. It's not very warm or very cool. It's just a basic brown, so it's easily dupeable. You can use any browns you can get your hands on. And then I actually used my bronzing powder by Prestige to blend that out because I found the bronzing powder is a really nice kind of cinnamon colour to it. I also applied some of that bronzing powder to the tip of my eyeshadow brush and applied that underneath my lower lash line again. And then using a really teeny smudge brush, this is by NYX, I applied that brown right up until my lower lash line again, right up into the lash line hairs so that it would add a bit more definition. And then I used it to pack the brown over the outer third or so of my upper eyelids also. For eyeliner, I used a Ben Nye Aqua Cake and used a water spray just to activate it. And then I applied it using my favourite liner brush, which is a Dada Rowney Art brush. and just applied this over the top lash line, tapering it in towards the inner corner and giving it a flick in the outer corner. Feel free to make it a much smaller wing at the end if it doesn't suit yourself, but I just wanted this to be more of a like typical Siobhán look. I then applied a wee bit of mascara to my top and bottom lashes without going too heavy, because it's more just to have a wee bit of a structure for my lashes to sit on. And then I used these Collection 2000 eyelashes that I just picked up earlier on in Boots. They were like €4 something, they're brand new. They're grand, but they're pretty fake looking on, but they'll just do for the sake of this tutorial. Any eyelashes will do. I just think that the false eyelashes really work with this look since the rest of the colours are quite pared down. I applied my foundation all over my face without any real rhyme or reason. Just applied it all over because I'm using a damp sponge that I wet myself with a water spray, and just use this to pat the foundation into the skin and blend it out. And of course, dampening the sponge means that it doesn't absorb quite so much product. So just blend this evenly and well all over the skin until you have it as perfect as possible. For spot concealing, I'm using my Dermacolor palette and a little eyeliner brush. And I just applied the concealer in my closest skin colour directly onto the blemishes, and then I just leave it for less than a minute or so and pat the concealer in over the blemishes. I also applied a little bit of this around the nose area as I tend to get a wee bit red there. And then for concealing, or rather brightening underneath my eye area, I used my Sleek Luminaire highlighter and just brushed this a wee bit under my eyes and used my fingers to pat it in. I had also picked up this natural haired blush brush earlier on while in Boots, and I used it here to apply my MSF Natural in Light all over the skin. So I used the flat top to buff it into the skin as well as pack the colour on. I used my Sleek eyebrow kit to add some light colour and definition to my eyebrows, and I used an angled eyeliner brush to apply this into the hairs and to create a bit more definition around the tail end of my eyebrows. And I brushed some clear mascara through the hairs to set the shape in place. So going back to my matte vanilla pigment, I applied this using a small eyeshadow blending brush to apply the highlights to my cheekbones. And I used the same mini brush from earlier on and the same bronzer to apply some contour and shape to my face. This brush is perfect for contouring with because if you use the sides of the brush, it just gets really well in under your cheekbone. To add some colour to my cheeks, I used MAC's Style Blush, which is one of my favourite blushers, and I used the same flat top brush again and used this to almost stipple the colour onto my cheeks first, and then get rid of any excess onto a wee bit of tissue and buff it well into the skin and bring it up over towards the top of my ear. I outlined my lips using MAC's Subculture lip pencil just to give a little bit of shape to my lips without adding too much colour. And then this is before adding a kind of corally colour lipstick to my lips. So in this case I used MAC's Ravishing Lip Colour, which is a beautiful subdued coral. It's not too strong and it just goes perfect with the other colours in this look, I think. And just applied that all over my lips and left it without a gloss because it's a cream sheen, so it has a bit of a cream, of a sheen rather to it itself. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thanks a million for watching and chat soon. Slán!